Do you really know what you're putting onto your body every day? Our skin is our largest organ and it absorbs everything that touches it, and quickly too. So you want to make sure that what you're putting onto your body is helping it and not harming it. Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm Katie. If you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm excited to be filming this part 2 of my 3-part series of education basically on the low tox lifestyle. So I'm pretty new to this whole lifestyle. I've been doing it for about 8 months now, and so I'm learning still too. But I just couldn't keep this information to myself once I started learning more and more. And so I decided that I want to take you along the journey with me. So thank you so much for being here. But I hope we can both learn and grow together as we continue on this journey toward a less toxic life. So like I said, this is the second video in a 3-part series. The first video, we talked all about food and basically all the things we're putting into our body. Today we're going to be talking personal care products, so that's going to be all the things we're putting onto our body, which ultimately seep into our bodies. So we want to make sure we're eliminating all the toxins, or at least as many as we can control, because that's the one thing I've learned is that you're never going to be 100% toxin free. It's just impossible in this world. And so we have to do the best we can with the information we have at the time. I've purchased products in the past few months that I then later learned, oh, one of those ingredients isn't the best. And so it's a learning process, and that's why I call it a journey, because I don't think there is a final destination. I think it's constant learning and constantly making small changes that add up over time and really relatively quickly. I mean, 8 months, I've made so many changes in our lives. And when I say our, I mean my family. And so that's pretty quick in the whole scheme of things if you really think about it. So if you aren't subscribed already, make sure you go hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it when you guys support my content. It honestly keeps me going. Be sure to go follow me over on Instagram as well. If you're not, I share a lot of things on stories there every single day, including like meals or product finds and just life in general. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss part 3 of this series, which was going to be household products. So like my food video, this is probably going to be a long one just because there's so much information and I just can't help but try to share everything with you guys. So make sure you have notebook and pen with you while you're watching this because you're going to want to take notes. I once again have my trusty iPad here with a lot of notes, as you can see, so I may be looking down to check that as we go. So to start off, I'm going to kind of run through the list of toxic ingredients to look out for because, again, similar to food, there are just certain ingredients that you're going to find over and over again in a lot of your personal care products. So you might as well get familiar with them, know what you're looking for, learn how to read an ingredient label, and you're going to be so much better off. For me, reading product labels has been a lot harder than reading food labels because everything's a chemical, and some are bad and some aren't as bad. So it just makes it a little more challenging, and I'm constantly Googling and referencing my notes. So after I give you a quick rundown of those ingredients, I'm going to actually share with you my personal swaps that I have made, and just to kind of give you a jumping off point. I always say my videos or my posts on social media are a jumping off point for you to do your own research. Do not take what I say and just use it as your gospel. Nobody knows you like you. There's a lot of experts out there in a lot of different fields, but you are the expert on you. And you, if you're a mom, are the expert on your children. And nobody else is going to be able to know what works right for you except for you. So I'm the biggest proponent of doing your own research. That's my biggest takeaway in life. Like if I gave one piece of life advice to anyone, it would be do your own research. So what makes an ingredient harmful? What's the harm that it's causing? Well, most of the ingredients that I'll go over today have been studied and found to be endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors, allergens. They can cause lesser side effects like skin rashes, allergies, things like that, which if you've dealt with those, you know that it's not lesser. And this is where it comes down to each individual, because is every single product going to affect every single person in the same way? No, of course not. All of our bodies process toxins differently. We all have different genetic makeup. We all have different toxic loads. But the thing that I've learned with the low tox lifestyle is that none of us know what our toxic load is, and none of us know where our like breaking point is. So you want to just constantly be trying to reduce the toxins that are entering your body, because you just never know what the tipping point is, and why not try to reduce the harm. So this is going to be the list of products you'll want to avoid. If you see these on an ingredient list, try a different product. Now, this is not an exhaustive list by any means, so just keep all those things in mind as we go. Parabens and phthalates. You probably see a lot of things that say paraben and phthalate free, which is great, but those are just kind of the tip of the iceberg. But if a product doesn't say that, some parabens will start with methyl, ethyl, propyl, iso, and benzyl. So that's, again, a lot to look out for. And once you start reading ingredient lists, you'll see how it's kind of confusing. So again, I'm not an expert on this, but I'm sharing the information that I have as I go. Fragrance. So you'll see fragrance listed a lot. You'll see it natural fragrance, synthetic fragrance. I forget the other one. Sometimes you'll just see fragrance, but I avoid fragrance at all costs, because that is basically a label that they can put as an ingredient that can represent over 3,000 different chemicals. And it's under the FDA, it's considered a trade secret. And so that's why they don't have to release that information on the labels. So you really don't know what you're getting when you're using a product that has fragrance in it. TEA and DEA are two products. It's triethanolamine and diethanolamine. So I know I'm saying that wrong. So TEA and DEA. And the EU has actually banned both of those. But of course the US hasn't. The EU has actually banned over 1,300 different ingredients, whereas the US, the FDA, has banned 8. So many things to say, but I'll just leave you with that fact. Speaking of things the FDA has banned, triclosan is one. However, it was only banned for soaps. So you can still find it in cosmetics, deodorants, lotions, things like that. So again, just, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? Like, why would you ban it for one product but not others? PEGs, sulfates, EDTA, these are all things you're going to want to avoid. Aluminum, definitely want to avoid that. That is a main ingredient in most conventional deodorants. So I'll go more into deodorants when I share what I use. So the last one is fluoride, and I know, freak out about it, but I mean, I always used fluoride. I go to the dentist and they always did fluoride. I never knew anything bad was to do with fluoride. And I'm sure a lot of people have a lot to say on this one. But again, it comes down to doing your own research, making your own calls on this. So while we're on the topic of fluoride, let's just jump into my product list, my product swaps, and start off with toothpaste. And I'm starting off with toothpaste for a reason, because to me, that is the most important swap that you can make. I almost feel like including toothpaste in the food video, because it's literally going into your mouth, and while you're not ingesting it, our mouths absorb so quickly, they absorb so much that it's almost that important. So there's a ton of fluoride-free toothpaste out there on the market, but I have always just felt hesitant about those back when I was a fluoride believer. But even after, thinking about, well, maybe there's something with fluoride, I decided to make the switch to Risewell, which there actually are several competitors to this, I've now learned, but this is the one that I have been using and we have been loving as a family. They have a kids one too, and they use an ingredient called hydroxyapatite. So it's fluoride free. It has much better ingredients besides the fluoride, but it actually has hydroxyapatite, which is used to rebuild enamel and proven to rebuild enamel on teeth. And so to me, I like that it has that, because it's actually replacing the fluoride with something. It's not just taking away the fluoride and leaving you to have your teeth protected by what. So there's tons and tons of research out there on hydroxyapatite and the effectiveness, and we've seen it working in our own household with our own eyes. So I am an affiliate with RiseWell now, after I tried them out on my own and then reached out to them. So this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but I do have a 10% off code with them, so I'll put that in the description below. So you might probably be wondering at this point, why is fluoride bad? So fluoride can cause dental fluorosis, which is like those like white spots on the teeth, and I'm sure there's more detailed explanation to it, but again, you can look it up. It's also been linked to damaging the brain and central nervous system. It causes cancer, especially bone cancer, and has been linked to Alzheimer's disease. Now, do I think toothpaste alone is going to cause you any of those problems? No, I don't. However, there is fluoride in so many things. I never knew this. I thought toothpaste was the only place we were getting fluoride. No, it's in the water, which in my household video, I'll get into our water, but now we don't have fluoride in our water. But if you're just drinking your typical tap water, or even through, a Brita filter or something, you're getting fluoride in tea bags, bottled water, medications, etc. It comes down to, once again, trying to reduce toxins where we can. So if I can remove fluoride from our toothpaste, I'm going to do that, because I know there's other places I'm getting exposure and I have no control over that. So that's the deal with that. Let's move on. What else is bad in your typical toothpaste? Sodium lauryl sulfates, or SLS. This is another ingredient you'll want to avoid. It is actually used in insecticides. So that's just horrible. Why is it in something that goes in our mouth? It's linked to canker sores and inflammation, and it strips your mouth of its natural lining. Your microbiome in your mouth is so important to your health, and SLS actually strips that right away. So definitely something we want to avoid. Flavor, go back to my food video if you want to hear more about natural and artificial flavor. We don't need that in our toothpaste. It's a bunch of chemicals. Sodium saccharin is another one that is not good, and titanium dioxide has actually been linked to reproductive organ toxicity, which is just, again, it's heartbreaking to learn of these things and how it's just in our products, like our toothpaste. Like, we shouldn't have to be worried about our toothpaste. When we go to the store, we should be able to pick something off the shelf and trust that it's not going to harm us. But we can't do that. So you gotta be a fighter. You gotta guard your home. You gotta guard your body, your family's body, your children's bodies, and protect the things that are entering your home. So there's other ingredients in toothpaste as well that are not the best. So there's really a lot that goes into it. So that's why I recommend RiseWell, and we have had a wonderful experience with this. It does take a little bit of an adjustment. It doesn't foam, and it's not white like your typical toothpaste, but there's a reason for that. The things making your toothpaste white and foamy are not good things. So check it out, give it a try. What do you have to lose? So next up is skincare. So I have been using this brand, Acure, and it is so luxurious. I absolutely love it. The ingredients, check out. They have a lot of products, this brand. You'll see it again later in this video, but that is their night cream. I also like their day cream and eye cream, and it has been great for me, and I don't have to worry about toxic ingredients. The other brand that I love, that if you follow me, you might have heard me talk about before, that is Beauty by Earth. So I have a code for them as well if you're interested in checking them out. I use their SPF, their daily SPF, if I'm going to be out in the sun for an extended amount of time, and I just have had a great experience with these products. It's so nice to be able to put something on my skin and not have to wonder, what is this? Check out these brands, because I'm telling you, you don't have to use the big name brands to get a good result, and you'll actually potentially, most likely, have a better result because you're not putting harmful ingredients onto your skin. So that aligns right with makeup. I actually have another video coming out where I'm going to go more in depth on makeup, but I really don't wear makeup anymore. Right now I do have mascara on. I throw a little mascara on for videos just so my eyes kind of pop a little more. So makeup we want to avoid for SLS, PTFE, and PFAs, which are called forever chemicals. The body and the environment just do not ever get rid of these chemicals. So once you have them, it's a very difficult process to get rid of them. Parabens, phthalates, and fragrance, DEA, TEA, MEA, all of those things that I mentioned earlier are commonly found in makeup. And again, those are banned in the EU, yet not in the US. So why would the EU go to the trouble to ban those things if they were harmless? So hair care, once again, Acure. I hope I'm like saying the brand right because I'm not 100% sure. But I use their shampoo and conditioner, and I swear, you guys, my hair has never been better. It's so much smoother. It's not as frizzy all the time, and I just love the way that shampoo smells. It just has like a fresh scent. You don't need this like overwhelming scent of roses or anything like that in order to clean your hair. So highly recommend. I have been loving that shampoo and conditioner. I feel like it has just transformed my hair for sure. So deodorant, I use Schmidt's deodorant, which is one of several I've tried, and I really like it. They don't have any fragrance or any of the harmful ingredients like aluminum or anything like that, but they do use baking soda, which I learned for some people can cause a skin irritation. For me, I don't personally have that issue, but just something to be aware of. And there are other brands out there who don't use that as an ingredient. So again, it's a lot of trial and error finding what works for you. I will say with deodorant, it's a bit of a process after you have been using an aluminum deodorant for so many years. You will have to go through a bit of a detox process. So I'd recommend just looking on Pinterest or Google for like detox, deodorant detox, armpit detox. And there's some things you can do to help speed along that process. Okay, so the last product I have to actually show you is nail polish. This is the Sally Hansen Good Kind Pure. So my camera doesn't want to focus on it, but I will have everything linked in the description for you. So this nail polish is free of toxic ingredients. The main ones in nail polish you want to look out for are the benzophenone 1 and 3. So there are actually a lot of, again, more natural, like free of toxic ingredient nail polishes. If you go to Target a lot, you might have actually seen on their nail polish row, they have like a whole separate section of toxin-free nail polish, which this was in, but just be careful because there are some in that section that are not as good as they're claiming to be. So I always recommend doing your own research. Don't trust the label at the store because you just can be steered away from the right path thanks to marketing. So yes, I have used a couple different brands, and basically it's not going to last as long as a gel manicure. So just prepare yourself for chipping and things like that. But at the end of the day, who cares if you're not putting toxins into your skin and nails? Like, who cares if it doesn't last as long? So I know nails are a big deal to a lot of people. I've never been one of those people. I went for my wedding to get my nails done. I've gone for friends' weddings, but I'm not a big nail person. So maybe that's one area where you're not willing to give, but try to give in other areas. So it comes down to making those decisions for yourself. But I think it's important to give in some areas and not in others if you're going to do that. Like for me, I always say my thing, I still drink Diet Coke, which is so terrible and I hate, but I just can't give it up yet. But I'm trying so hard in so many other areas of my life. So it's a trade-off, it's a balance, and someday I will not be a Diet Coke drinker. I am so determined, just not in this stage of life where I have 2 toddlers who are out to get me every day. So that is basically it. A couple other things I just wanted to share that I've switched out in my home, but I haven't quite found the perfect thing yet, so as a replacement. So that's why I don't have a direct recommendation, but hand soap, bar soap or body wash, depending on what you use, your face wash, supplements, and any medications that you take. All of these things are really important to be looking into to understand what the ingredients are and what are those ingredients. What can they potentially do to you? So just go throughout your house and take an inventory, see what you've got, see what you want to change, and just remember that it's not going to happen in a day. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I get it. I have been there, I am there, but take it one step at a time. I am hopefully going to be coming out with a lot more content to help you actually make the transition to a more low toxic lifestyle. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. If you have recommendations for anything, let me know. And I'm just so excited to be on this journey with you. And I can't wait for the next one. See you guys soon. Bye.